10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Men of Promise podcast entitled A Man's Conversation. I'm joined here today by my co-host, Mr.
Ariel Prater,
and my lovely wife who's here, Sherry Sanders. And all right, so we're going to start this show off a little different. I want to congratulate my wife, my partner, my Batwoman, my Lois Lane, because I'm Superman. We just celebrated 25 years of her dealing with me and my mess. So God has graciously blessed you with patience, long suffering, kindness, gentleness, joy, and peace for all the things that I've brought to you in this relationship. 25 years of being married. It's been a wonderful 25 years. So I want to congratulate you for being the love of my life.
Oh, congratulations to you too.
You
for
are
putting up with me.
That would be a whole nother 10-year podcast.
Another
episode. It's been a good 25 years, and thank you for being the best gift that God has ever bestowed upon me.
Aw,
I couldn't have done better. I wouldn't have done better. So bless God. Amen.
Amen.
Congratulations to you both. I just want to add that in.
Thank you. So how long do you have till you catch up to us?
Some years.
Carry the one.
20. Yeah. A few more years. Okay. A lot more.
We'll be there to celebrate with you when it comes through. All right. We had an explosive podcast last week. Like, we were all over the place.
Yes, we were.
We had some comments that came back from our podcast.
Yep.
Did you get a chance to watch it, Sherry?
You didn't send it to me.
Oh, you missed out then. It's not my job to send you podcasts. You're supposed to subscribe to the channel. And when that bell goes, ding, you're supposed to watch the podcast.
Exactly.
Our topic last week, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I
Right.
thought as a child, I did childish things. But when I became a man, I put
Childish things away.
things away. What I like about this podcast is we go from the hip. There's no script. There's nothing produced. It's all based off principle, things that we say and what we operate in.
Right.
And I had to go back because we were all over the place last week. We talked about a lot of principles that deal with men, women, the maturity of a man and how he should operate based off our opinion and biblical principles.
Right.
I want to continue in that conversation today.
Be great.
I did go back, watch the video twice, and make some notes of some things that I may need to clarify. I need to pull out. And let me say this, and I shared this with my wife, and I shared this last week. Men of Promise is a ministry that God gave me, and my wife has a ministry very similar called Women of Promise. It started as discipleship groups. In the late 90s, I was at a very big church, Faithful Central Missionary Church or Faithful Central Bible Church in Inglewood, California. And the pastor came to the congregation and said, "Hey, we're about to grow. We need to set up leadership for the growth of the church that's about to come."
Okay.
And I went through deacon training. I was nominated for ministry. Okay. I've been counseling or leading discipleship groups since 1997.
That's great.
Subsequently, the vision of my pastor was not just prophetic, but it was a faith walk. Eventually, we went from a 1,200 seat place of worship to a 2,500 seat place of worship to ultimately buying the Forum and 22,000 seat Forum in Inglewood as our church home.
And having multiple services.
Yeah,
that's big time. That's
so my background in discipleship group or discipling men really comes from me needing to be discipled, but God using that gift to disciple, to teach, to talk, and to help other men. And that also progressed with my wife. So Men of Promise, not just being a podcast, but it's also a discipleship group. So we disciple men. So in discipling of a man, from a more experienced man to a lesser experienced man, the conversation is very important. The principles that we instill in a younger man are very important for them to understand, to connect to, and to, you know, take into their lives to see if it'll be something that'll benefit them.
Right.
So our podcast is for men, young adult men, teenage men, and even, you know, young men.
Yeah.
That conversation, the earlier it starts, the easier it is to introduce.
Right.
The Bible says how you train a child up is that way, that's the way they're going to go.
Right.
So if we can change the conversation or the narrative of the conversation of a true man, the essence of a man, and begin to deposit into younger men or younger children, then it makes the society or makes the world a better place.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have a question for you. And I posed this question before, and it was more so of a statement that I saw growing up. And the statement is it easier to build a child or to repair a man?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I think 100% it's easier to build a child. Repairing men, though, has to happen sometimes. It just has to happen because there's a lot of people that just didn't get it or get something when they were growing up, or became broken by whatever they saw in their childhood. So if you build that child, though, and give them those principles that we're talking about, and we've been talking about week after week, and they get some of that in them, it's easier for them to grow up and learn those and practice those principles as they're younger and see these situations. Those broken men that we have to repair have been through a lot of those situations too, but didn't have the tools to deal with that.
The knowledge or
exactly.
And sometimes they had to get it from life.
Exactly. Right.
And sometimes that was a hard lesson learned.
Yep.
You know,
it is.
An example is my dad. You know, he was broken as a young man. He had gotten his girlfriend pregnant at a young age.
Yep.
I want to say he was like 16 or 17 at the time. And he got drafted into the military.
Yep.
So when he went away, she ended up marrying his best friend.
Oh, wow.
Who ultimately adopted his son. And that broke him.
Yeah.
He was damaged goods.
I believe it. Yeah.
You know, so when he ended up getting stationed out of the country, he was on a rampage, you know, and then he ended up damaging someone else, you know, i.e. my mom and my biological mother. And then ultimately he got involved with my stepmother while he was married to my mother.
Right.
And, you know, it was just one thing after another, you know, but ultimately it took him going through multiple bad relationships, you know, hurting people and him being hurt till eventually, you know, it got to a point where he got saved in the process. But we're talking almost 40 plus years of living.
And breaking other people, doing other things, which
and you know, instilling damage into his children.
Exactly.
You know, stuff we had to witness and see growing up. So it was a cycle.
It is.
That ultimately, you know, thank God was broken through him, you know, getting saved and making changes in his life. But again, he didn't have anybody there. He didn't have a podcast. You know what I'm saying? He had to learn through hard life lessons.
Right.
You know.
So there was a lack of, let's say, leadership that he didn't have in his life, people he could talk to or people that could mentor him and help him. And it ultimately caused him to make a lot of bad decisions. And the principle of hurt people is real. Is real. So give me your opinion on the progression of what a man should be. From childhood to being a teenager, young adult to a man.
Right.
Well, what does that look like to you?
Yeah. So first thing is as a child, responsibility is given to you, right? It has to be instilled in you.
Right.
And you have to get that lesson of responsibility early, but that's one thing, you know, hopefully some older, mature people around you are giving you. So you can learn those lessons early of responsibility. And then you, as a man, right, you need to be responsible on your own, or instilling that into someone else. The responsible part of you just being a man. And with that responsibility comes bigger things, right?
Right.
So we're talking about money. We're talking about homes. We're talking about cars.
Right. Children.
Children.
Wife.
Family. All of that. That is a responsibility of a man, that you take up that mantle and you take all that with you, and you are raising and doing what you need to do to take care of your responsibilities.
So in childhood, it's important for the parents to instill principles into the child.
Right.
As that child grows to become a teenager, they will they have to test those boundaries and see where they are and what how those principles will be beneficial for them. And then that transcends into a young adult, a younger man, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. And then if those principles work, it will transition him into the man or the adult man that he needs to be, not just for himself, but for his wife, his job, his career, and the things that that adult manhood comes with. And so a couple of things that we've prefaced in this podcast before is, you know, a teenager or a young adult will live in an apartment.
Right.
When a man who has responsibility will push toward having a home or building a home. The young adult male will be satisfied with a teenager. I mean, satisfied with a girlfriend as a teenager. Yeah. But the older you get, the more mature you get, you want to build a household or a legacy.
Yes.
Right. So that man will want to be married. The teenager or young adult will be satisfied with a job, but the adult man will be more substantiated with a career, or the understanding that he needs to have invested in something that's going to have a long-term return.
Right.
Most teenagers or young adults, men, they operate off of feelings and selfishness. And the man that has the house, he has the cars, the responsibility, the stepchildren, the career, he operates off of principles.
Right.
And there's a difference between principle operation and feelings operation.
Right.
So for me, a couple years ago, I had to change my diet. I had to change my diet to the blood type that my body operates in.
Right.
There are some principles that I had to come out, negative principles that I had to come out of doing, and some positive principles that I had to erect to invest in myself long term. And I had to get past the feelings of wanting to eat French fries and burgers and burritos and tacos and things that I grew up on, because the investment of life for me, longevity wise, is more important than the initial feelings of right now and what I really want, what I really don't need, but what I'm used to doing. And so if you're a teenager or you're a young adult, there are principles that you need to start erecting into your life now. Because it's going to be harder to break those principles as a man. It's going to be harder to break those principles. And even though we talked about, is it easier to build a child or repair a man? Yes, it's easier to build a child, but in this society, repairing a man is not it's a necessity.
Got to do that
because
too.
There are so many broken adult men out there who haven't mentally, physically, and spiritually progressed from teenager or young adult mentality to a manhood. You know, preparation. There are things that, and I'll use myself for an example, that I was preparing for, not even knowing that I was getting married, but just preparing for myself, like saving money. So when, you know, I moved to Atlanta at the drop of a dime. Within a month of coming to Georgia, me and my wife decided to move back here. There was money saved up. So
you're already prepared for that.
Right. Credit was straight. I talked to you about the washer and dryer I bought my wife. You understand, when $3,500, you know, there were things that, and we talked about backup plans. You know, the preparation, when it meets the opportunity, it gives a man to himself to show that he can achieve a higher or greater goal. We have to talk about some of the negative attributes of what happens when a man is not prepared. What does he miss out on? What happens when a teenager is not prepared? What does he miss out on? I'm counseling a couple right now who have a 16-year-old child. He wants to drive, but he can't manage his responsibilities in the house. Can't manage to do what his parents are asking him to do, but he wants the responsibility of driving their car under their insurance. He holds nothing in the game. There's no blood, sweat equity, but he wants all the responsibility of being able to drive. And his parents being an adult. His parents won't let him do it. And now that he's shut down, everything that his parents have been trying to instill in him that he has been rejecting based on his feelings and selfishness, is now playing a part because he's not getting what he wants.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a lesson you got to learn early too. I think you said something really, really important, and that's all the things that you have to do to prepare yourself into manhood or adulthood. And one of those things is, yes, saving money, but it's getting out of your feelings as a child, right? And working off your feelings. So I'll just give you an example of that okay, you have $100 in your pocket. Does that mean at this moment, when you see something that's $99, that you spend that money? And child thinking is what? Hey, I need, and do you even need it? Do you need it? First of all. Second of all, how is this going to help you? And then are you going to even see that? Is that an investment in your life and what you're making right now?
So what age are we talking? We talking teenager?
We're talking teenager. Yeah, we're talking teenager.
Right. So when the responsibility, but as a child.
Exactly. Well, it still happens, right? But you're working. We're teaching the concept of money. Hopefully, at that point,
right?
That you are, hey, this, you're still teaching those lessons, but here you can do this. But I'm giving you this money. This is what the value of the dollar is.
Right.
As a teenager, you even have the opportunity to go make your own money and go have your after school job or whatever you need to do to make that money. But as soon as you make the money, doesn't mean you spend the money.
Right.
And we need to be thinking about saving because there's other big things that you need to get. So teaching that concept right now, I feel like, because yes, you need to have the concept of a saving for something that's going to get you to the next level.
So what are the dynamics of an adult male who does not have the principles of saving money, putting money aside, and not always buying everything he wants and needs?
Yeah. Exactly. You didn't save up anything. That means you cannot build generational wealth. I can tell you that. You're not going to do anything. There's things, like you said, even getting your wife the washer and dryer. That was important to you. You couldn't even think about doing that if you were living on, hey, whatever comes in just goes out immediately.
Right.
You got to put some stuff up. You got to think about. And then the other opportunities, because you were saying that you miss because you've already spent your money. Right? That you weren't saving for something else, something greater that you knew was going to come, but you could wait that out and say, hey, I'm saving it for this.
So that was a very important principle for me in being about 19 years old. I shared with you guys last week that I was 19 years old. This is in the 90s. I'm making $1,000 a week cutting hair. Because I come from a poor background, when I first started making that $1,000 a week, I would pay my booth rent. I made sure that my tools were taken care of. But every dollar that came into my pocket, it was gone.
Yep.
And then one day, something super duper important came up. And I needed like $750, right then and there. And I was like, I know I got it. And I went back and counted my money. I had $53. And then I went back and looked at all the stuff that I had bought that week. Boots, monkey bread, going out to eat, like stuff that I did not need at the moment. But at the same time, my hurt in not having as a child promoted me to say, now that I have the money, I can buy this.
Buy whatever.
That day, that week, I disciplined myself and I told myself, I will not spend any money I make from Monday through Saturday until I do a budget on Saturday. Then I'm going to budget my bills out. I got to pay booth rent. I got a cell phone bill. I need to put money away in savings. And I need to have money for my car, things of that nature. Ever since that day, I didn't have the leadership of a man to teach me that. I began to look at my voids or my empty spots or the places where I needed help and erect some type of principles that would help me long term.
He's not lying either.
I believe it, but man, that married, is a
he literally he had a safe and he would literally have all his money in the safe. And at the end of the week,
Mm-hmm.
he would count everything,
Mm-hmm.
put the total down.
Yep.
He'd do his budget. He would not spend any money until he did his budget. Even after we got married.
That's great.
He was like, I'd be like, let's do this, or let's go buy this, or whatever. And he would be
Look
like,
at the money. Let's go.
He wouldn't do it.
Right.
He would not do it till the end of the week, till he did his budget and he made sure everything was paid. And then he would see what he had left over. He would save some, and whatever was left over went towards responsibility first. Like, that's crazy.
I will say that is for you to get that lesson by yourself, right? And then say, I'm going to hold on to this as a principle for the rest of my life. That is huge. And I'm glad you got the lesson. I had to be taught that lesson, right? It didn't come to me like, cha-ching, like don't spend everything you got and you got to save for the rainy day because it's going to happen. It's going to be here. You always got to have some amount of money saved away. And to get that early, that is...
Or to be disciplined enough,
blessings to you,
even when you get it, to do it.
Well, Well, let's go. Let's look at the principle of being prepared when an opportunity comes. Whether that opportunity that came to me that was $750 was an opportunity that will put me in a better place, or was a bill, I was not prepared.
Weren't prepared. Yeah.
So my logic said there are people out there who get paid on Friday. They work all week. They get paid on Friday every 2 weeks. So if I need to erect that standard into my life, that's what I had to do. And it was a challenge because when I got married, my wife saw wads of cash.
Cash.
And her idea was like, oh, the cash is there to spend it. And I'm like, no. I got a section. So let's say I made $1,000 a week. If my rent was $1,500, I had to divide $1,500 into 4 and save up that amount of money each week, or put that money aside each week. So at the end of the month, I would have my rent. I would have my rent.
Exactly.
Car notes.
I had to do the same thing. Yeah. And that when you do operate just on money, because when I was a bartender, what happened?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I did this in college. So
okay.
Yeah. But
I thought you meant last week.
Nah. In college, the money's easy, right? So go in, I make $150, $200 every night. Like that's what it was. And then I get to a point where I was like, okay, or early on in bartending, I would be like, I can make my rent in one weekend. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm living for the whole month. Living for, okay, I'm just spending money wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing. End of the month, that last weekend, I'm trying to make my rent. And I was like, how dumb is this though? You get to a point where you start seeing, okay, all this money in, all this money out. But you said something really important, that budget. When you start really accounting for that money and where it's going, you look around and you want to just hit something, because it's like, what is all this stuff? All this $20, $30 everywhere, just going out, going whatever, do whatever, and just money out.
Yeah, it adds up. And the other thing is, when you work in the when you work in the hair industry, your booth rent is due on Saturday.
Yep.
And if you don't pay your booth rent, it was so many weeks out. I had the money, but I'm working on Saturday to make the booth rent. And one day I didn't make it. It was just a slow day. But luckily, I had my money set aside, some money set aside. So what I did is, I would always make sure I had an extra $150 saved up from the week before. For my booth rent, and I would pay my booth rent at the beginning of the week, because once I got that booth rent out the way, everything else is mine.
That's good.
And so, when we talk about the progression of a man, there are positives and there are negatives. There are challenges where we're going to have in life where a man is going to have to make a decision for himself, and then everybody that deals with him will benefit from the decision that he makes. This is a principle, and I share this all the time with men, and I share it with my wife. I don't cheat because my wife doesn't want me to cheat. I cheat because I cheat. I cheat with my wife. I cheat with my wife. No. Men have to erect principles for themselves that will protect the people who are directly connected with them. My discipline on saving money is to protect my wife, my kids. My discipline on how I spend my money is a principle that it protects them. And with her being the wildflower, and she, her faith is different than mine. She would spend her money and say, well, it's here, I need to spend it.
It'll work out.
And sometimes it would.
Right. Sometimes it would.
According to her faith.
Right.
But according to my faith, we had a problem because she hadn't been through what I had been through.
Yeah.
So you can't have two people in a relationship and they both have money just flying out the window. Yeah. So we had one that was disciplined and one that was undisciplined. Right. Well, when she got into the dynamics of being a business person, she now understands, hold up. Yes. I need to start putting some money aside. Right. I need to have some stash of money where my money's a little more free flowing. It's like the dynamics really switched. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
That's great.
But we both have the experience from our own situations, but it's the same principle.
Right.
You have to save for a rainy day, but then you also have to know, again, we went on vacation. We in Alabama. And my wife buys a $170,000 boat.
Yeah. Yep.
And when we first got married, I'd have been like, no, heck no. It'd have been a Martin Lawrence. No, get to stepping. You know what?
It was time, right?
She purchased it.
Exactly.
It was like, we need $14K down.
Yeah.
So I was like, transfer.
Yep.
Transfer the money. We left. We left. With
it made sense then. Yeah, right.
It's been a blessing.
It really didn't make sense because we were there looking for sandbags.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Well, let's just look. Let's just see." He was like, "For what? And I said, let's just, Then we found one, and I said, well, let's see if we can. Let's see what'll happen, And they approved me for it, and I was like, "You want to do it? What you think?" He was like,
"I could do both."
No.
Well, this is the thing.
We would rent them all the time.
Yeah, we would rent them all the time. But I'm sitting there thinking, we're on vacation. How are we gonna get the boat back?
Where are we gonna park the boat?
Where are we gonna park the boat?
Park the boat.
I'm thinking responsible wise.
I wasn't thinking about none of that.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't think about that.
Then as we're going through, they're like, I'm thinking this boat is gonna be a bill. And it was like the insurance was like $350 for a year.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
But what I didn't take into consideration is how much it cost to fill it up. Because the first time we filled it up, it was like $300, $400. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You talking 80 gallon at $3-4 a gallon? But that's what But I mean,
it is what it
is what it is. And being a man's man or an adult man is not power or control over my wife. It's the freedom to allow her to be who she is. And I have to trust and believe that we are making the right decision. And I got to go to God and pray. And God was like, go for it. And I'm like, a boat?
Yeah.
Like today.
Well, but here's the thing. You're still prepared to get that boat. Yeah. Even though you can't, it sounds like, that's crazy. We're just crazy spending out here. No, you're prepared. Yeah. And it's like, we can handle this. Yes. And that's where you get to as an adult. You just look at all the measures, you look at everything and say, hey, can I do this? It makes sense.
Responsibility comes with a work ethic.
Right.
And it was the same situation when we bought our RV. We sitting there and two young black people in this RV place. And we are about as out of place as a fish out of water. I mean, we said we want this RV. It was a $200,000 RV. And the guy sits down. He says, well, to make sure that you are, the bank wants to make sure that you're serious about this loan, you have to put down $50,000, $60,000, or $70,000 on your application.
Right.
And we'll submit that to the bank. So I'm looking at my wife and I'm like, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000.
Is that what we doing here? Yeah.
And she was like, okay, I'm going to put $70,000 down. And I did like this.
Prepared.
He was not exaggerating too. He was like,
prepared.
He whispered to me. He's
like, yeah. I love it.
And the guy looked up.
He said, what do you do?
He said, what y'all do for a living? Now he's judging us based off our appearance.
Exactly. Right.
So she goes, well, I'm a real estate agent and I'm a mortgage underwriter. And, and he's like, oh, okay, what do you do? And I was like, I sell a product.
Thank you.
That gives a euphoric feeling to my clients. They bring them back over and over again.
I said, Craig, stop telling people you're a drug dealer.
Exactly.
And I said, but my haircuts are dope.
Think. You're right.
My haircuts are dope.
So you had that man thinking, it was like, okay, no, it makes sense.
This is
like,
the thing.
On,
it didn't matter what I did.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If I can put 70,
and you're better than me because I would have been like, none of your business. Let's sign this paper. Let's go.
That's what I was saying. It's none of your business.
Right.
I mean, we had it. I mean, even when we purchased our land, we paid cash for it.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
You know. So there are things that an adult man prepares for. Mm-hmm. And if you're not prepared as a man, there are some things that are coming up in the future that you're going to have to prepare for. If you want to call in, we're on Facebook Live, 7 Spring Studio. And I believe we're also on YouTube Live, 7 Spring Studio. Give us a call at 470-412-0917 if you have a question or a comment. If you're watching this video, if you like it, and you're interested in the conversation, please like, follow, share, and let us know, what you think about our conversation. If you want to get to us through email, hit us up at menofpromise2018@gmail.com, because the conversation is very important that we're having right now, and it just really denotes why a man needs to mature in the progression of a child to a teenager to a young adult to a male. Right. Because, at 19, I had to make man decisions, mm-hmm. and I had to instruct discipline in areas where I was undisciplined because there was really nobody there to help me. I couldn't trust nobody.
Right.
My family didn't know how much money I was making. Mm-hmm. Right. I would never tell them that. Mm-hmm. So I had to figure out or devise a plan, and thank God that he was in my life, guiding me and leading me, because the unusual circumstances of the things that I went through has made me to be the unusual circumstantial man that I am today. The dynamics that I operate in, because I jumped for the challenge. Mm-hmm. God said, I'm going to bless you for taking a challenge that most people would not take.
Exactly.
Marrying my wife in 3 months, most men would not do that. Mm-mm. It's been 50 years that I've been married. Mm-hmm. She's been married 25.
Right.
Being married to her is like overtime, double time.
And you love every second of it.
I'm not going to say that, but I'll just say that I haven't quit the job yet. God will bless you according to the measure of your faith. Mm-hmm. If you have crazy faith, he'll give you crazy blessings. Mm-hmm. If you will jump at the challenge, he'll meet you there. He'll bless you in that challenge. Right. The dynamic of an immature male and an adult dynamic is a road for disaster. A immature teenager or young adult trying to go into manhood or making man decisions is an adult disaster. Yeah. And I think the problem another challenge that we have for men is the truth for a man versus the reality of a man. Mm-hmm. I can justify anything that I want and say, hey, this suffices what I need to do. Yeah. But is that the reality?
No,
it's
not at all. Yeah, definitely. I will say that your reality, because I was gonna pull that back actually into our different experiences on saving money. Okay. Because I didn't get your lesson at 19. Right. I was still out here, whatever was coming in was going out. But I will say I was in college, so I still had a support system around me, right? I didn't have to worry about where I was going to live at. My car was still running, everything like that. I was already, and my food's already paid for too. Those are different parts, and that's reality, right? Your reality was different from mine at that point in time. That's why I didn't get the lesson at 19 that I wish I would have got at 19, right. But it took me a couple more years, 2021. Right. And then when you're really out and you see, oh, there is support is okay. Well, let me get this lesson, right? So it does. And I was talking about that earlier this week with my wife, and it's as you grow up, that support, you have it there for your kids, but you kind of want to slowly pull that support away. And then that's when you start really learning those lessons, I feel like. Because if you have okay, well, they're there. Do you ever get that lesson?
No.
You were forced to get it at 19 because nobody was there to help you.
No support for me.
Exactly. So trying to emulate that, we're still here, kind of here, but we're not really here. We need to start getting these lessons is important. And I'm glad we're talking about it tonight, because those are things like, yeah, man, I didn't get it at 19. I know I didn't get it at 19. There was no need for me to really get it right then. It would have been great.
Right.
But man, when that support system gone, that's when you really start learning that lesson.
Well, that's what teenagers and young adults need to understand is, for me, being a man based off of principle.
Right.
My sole purpose is to prepare my 5 boys for what they're going to deal with when they get into the real world.
Right.
Mommy can nurture you. Mommy can help you through it. You can, still call on mommy, but daddy's the force that's going to prepare you. And again, we do not see a lot of mature teenagers taking that dynamic into becoming a mature male adult.
Right.
Everybody wants to stay a kid.
Of course.
Nobody wants to get a job.
Nah.
But the
this
progression,
is hard.
Right? It is. Life is hard.
This is hard stuff. Yeah,
it is. But what is the progression of life?
Yeah, it's supposed to get
funny
hard
in our household though, because our kids literally want to get a job. They want to get a job to work outside of the house because they feel like it's easier working outside of the house than working up under.
You did your job right there. I felt like the same way.
House.
Like, I'm ready to go.
So they running to get a job because they like, whoo, I'd rather work for someone else outside of my dad.
It's gotta be easier out here.
Yeah, so he's really prepared
That's
them.
good.
He's really prepared them.
But
and a lot of them look at, they look at me to say, well, I don't want to ask mommy for money anymore because I know she's got other small children, so the older ones, they kind of get out there and go for it. Right. Because they're like, well, she's got, a 16-year-old, she's got a 14-year-old, she's got a 12-year-old, so I'm old enough where I can work and fend for myself. So that's what I'm going to do.
Well, some of them think that. Some of them continue to call on a regular basis.
No, I think for the most part, all of them, are good.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually advocate for my children not to get a job.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I have a business. And my principle is you should work here. Work here.
Yeah.
Well, what if we don't make any money? The fact that you're there helping helps the whole cause.
Exactly.
And what I was explaining to my children is, if I can instill the business ethics that I learned at 19, 20, 21, 22 in a 13-year-old, without them even knowing, what does that prepare them for in the future, being 16, 17, 18, 19? And I don't have a problem with society, but I really think that the society, the way society is built, education keeps you, to me, in a cage.
Okay.
And let me give you my principle.
Please explain that one for me.
In the 80s, it was told to us that the future of your livelihood would be in a job that you have to have a degree in. So they pushed you to go to college, pushed you to go to college, pushed you to go to college. My learning ability did not allow me to go to college, which I graduated college in 3 weeks. So that was 40, 50 years ago. There are jobs out there that are based off of having a degree.
Right.
But the dynamic of the system being degree based is not substantiated anymore.
Right.
I know guys that have dual degrees right now at this moment and cannot get a job in the field that they have a degree in.
It's true. Yeah. I agree with that. And I've seen that too. I will say, I think that people should go according to their learning and their learning abilities. I think there should be a separation, and not everybody needs to go to college. And I'm pushing that right now too. But I think college, for if you do want to be doctor, lawyer, accountant, all that, and you like those types of jobs, and that's what you want to do that stuff. But that's why you go to college, not to go do study literature, unless you want to go write books, I guess, for the rest of your life.
Well, what happens, or where's the challenge in a society that takes wood shop out of the school? Auto crafting, of course, out of the school. What is it? What was the class? Home ec out of the school. It takes away the learning ability for people who are kinesthetic or who want to have a trade.
And that is a lot of people. So what does that show you? That yes, the education system did fail a lot of students by doing that.
But the educational system does not want to support the person who breaks the educational system code.
Right.
I've broken the code.
Yeah.
I'm not the norm.
Right.
I'm successful in every business, every entity, and everything that I've put my hands to. So people come to me, and my wife is college educated. Craig, what college did you go to? Southwest Community College for 3 weeks. And they're like, and the joke is I say USC or SC.
Right.
Because it's Southwest, one word, Community College. SC.
Okay,
oh, you went to USC? No, I went to Southwest Community College, LA.
Like I said, for you, it worked, right? And for you, you picked up that, hey, businesses are a good way to start. Working with your hands is a good way to go. I say we need more electricians and plumbers. And they come out and they can make $100,000. I know that.
Easy.
And I'm not saying everybody needs to go to college, but for those folks that it should be, you have the ability, or you like learning that way, go to college.
Go to college. And
it's not a one size fits all out here.
No, it's not. But that's and when I was growing up, that
it really was that. Yeah.
That
like
was
you're a failure unless you went to college.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right.
And there are men out there right now, you can't find your niche. You can't find your niche because you don't have a degree, but you can't find your niche because you don't have any trade.
Right. Exactly.
You
got to put work in somewhere.
You got to put work in somewhere.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Start with a hobby.
Yes.
Turn a hobby into a trade.
Right.
I love fish aquariums. That's my little hobby.
Right.
I was getting paid by some of my celebrity clients to come in, clean, and maintain their aquariums, because when they saw my aquarium, they was like, "Oh, that's nice!" Like,
exactly.
And I'm making money. I would cut their hair,
right,
and then turn around and then clean their aquarium. It was a hobby for me.
Right.
I turned it into a job.
Exactly.
You got to find an interest something that you're interested in. It could be anything from creating models or bartering or trading.
Yep.
But these principles for me, they started at a young age.
Right.
I was 5 years old, and I was getting paid $5 a week to clean up the dog mess in my neighbor's backyard.
Right.
Every Wednesday.
Yep.
I got $5. So guess what I was doing every Tuesday?
Yep.
Making sure every piece of poop was picked up, put in the trash. Because when Wednesday came, I wanted
that money. Yeah.
I was 5.
Right. No, that's great. But here's one thing though, and everything makes sense. You need to have a trade, all that, but you still have to have the principle of just being there and working hard. That is it. And putting everything, if you're cleaning out aquariums, like you said, where does that start at? That still starts with, hey, I'm going to be responsible enough to show up when the guy wants me to show up and do this work. And that's it. If I'm available to do it, that's how it starts. And then you start building your business from there, right?
Yes.
But you still have to have the principle in yourself of saying, hey, I need to go do this, and I need to be there on time. I need to do a good job.
Yeah. So then you can get referrals.
Exactly.
Maybe someone else can, refer you.
And that goes for anything you do, right? If you're gonna go be a barber, what first thing you got to be there, be available, do a good job. If you don't have that principle, you're still not going anywhere with anything that you're doing.
There needs to be a motivation for all teenagers to become a young adult. For all young adults to become the man dynamic.
Right.
And that motivation shouldn't be selfish. It really should be, what do I need to what do I need to do to obtain my goals?
Yes.
What do I need to do to obtain these things? What do I need to do? Because if you're selfish, self-centered, you won't be able to attain them fully.
No.
Not at all.
No, because you'll have to start. Here's what society will teach you, right? Or what you get. I'll show up that first couple times. Oh, the money's good. Okay, cool. So to show up on Saturday. Okay, next week, 2 weeks from now, can I show up on Sunday, Monday?
Because I got something going on.
I got something going on. That's more. I feel like it's more important than really building my business here when I'm really starting. And then you start, doing, and next thing you know, it's 3-4 weeks. You haven't been over there, not doing, everything you need to be doing. Whereas a responsible person, or a person that's really thinking with goals, says, I got my first one. Okay, that means I got 2 weeks to get to my second one. Please, sir, give me a referral on the next one. That means I can start building this. Now, every Saturday, I can just flip y'all. And then that's what people are thinking. If you're not thinking that way and you don't have that responsibility, you just lost your opportunity.
I'll give you a practical example of what happened with me. And I don't know if my wife remembers this. In my barbershop, my first barbershop, I would always have people come say, man, I want the clientele that you want.
Yeah.
I want to cut like you. I got dreams and desires. And so I would say, be here at 9:00. Well, the barbershop don't open till 10. Okay, well, the barbershop needs to be clean.
Yeah.
There needs to be preparation.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. So I had this young barber. Saturday morning, he wouldn't show up till noon. He was out partying the night before. So I told him, last chance.
Yep.
So one Saturday, came in, stuff was packed up at the door, waiting for him.
Yeah.
He cussed me out all the way to his car.
You didn't show me what you needed to show me?
My wife was like, that was mean. You shouldn't have did that. Blah, 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 blah. 2.5 months later, he called and apologized. He said, I now see what you were trying to instill in me.
Of course. Right.
It's
not
what
I'm trying to teach. Yes.
It's not good enough that you want to do it. You have to discipline yourself and prepare yourself, because what if he would have came early? What if that would have been my Robin?
Yeah.
I could have took him every place.
Exactly.
Where would he be right now?
Right.
He'd be working in the industry making $150,000 a year.
Exactly.
You also said how many clients did he miss out on from 9 a.m.
to 12?
Because on a Saturday, the early bird gets to work.
Exactly. Right.
I wasn't taking appointments yet, but it was a 3-hour wait for a haircut.
Wow.
In my shop. That was just for me.
Yeah. That was just for you.
He wanted that. But nobody is willing to make the sacrifice that I made, the commitment that I made. I valued what I had. I valued my clients. I valued my barbershop. I valued everything. And I wanted, if I was to pass it on to somebody, I need to see the same principles established. So for a teenager, I'm talking to the teenagers right now. If you're out there and you're not working to the capacity of what your father is trying to instill in you, that may be the reason why you don't have what you want and what you need. Because society, especially your credit score, and especially the job that you want, is going to base you off of your performance.
Exactly.
And if they are judging you off of your performance, if your performance is lacking, you may not have a job the next week. You may not get that promotion. And your father and your mother are there to guide you through that principle in love. Because that guy at McDonald's that you can't make it to work, he's not going to care. He knows that there's somebody else that wants this $4.25 an hour job or whatever it pays.
Nah, it's $20 now.
At McDonald's?
Yeah.
To push.
Hold on. Not 20 here, but in Atlanta, yeah, $15. You can get $15 at McDonald's.
To press the button that looks like a French fry?
Go press it. $15. $15 an hour.
Can I get a part-time? Wow, I didn't know that. Well, I'm using $4.25 because my first job was $4.25.
Right, exactly. That's how far it's
25 cents an hour.
You're telling your age, honey.
I don't care.
Don't tell my age.
Listen, I have you. I had a sugar mama. I got a side chick. They all named Sherry, last name Sanders. And if I haven't impressed her by now, that's her fault. So, we also need to look at missed opportunities or missing opportunities or the devaluing of the potential that a man has. And we need to talk about that because women who take care of a man devalue the effort and the strength that a man has and the ability for him to go out and not just provide, but be the paternal leader of that family, of that clan. And, it's easy. And I think I dated one woman. She kept giving me money, kept giving me money, kept giving me money, kept giving me money. And I was like, there's a cost to come with this.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And she kept giving me gifts. And I'm not that type of person. Like, you don't have to buy me. Love me and I'm good.
Right.
So we got into an argument one day. First thing she did, I want everything back that I gave you.
Of course.
I said, come and get it.
Yes.
Right. I put a box, all the gifts that she gave me in the box, unopened.
There you go.
All the cash she gave me was in an envelope, sealed. Come get it, because I won't be bought.
Thank you.
I'm not going to be bought.
Right.
There are some things that a man just has to do.
Of course.
And there's nothing wrong with gifts, but she was trying to buy my love, buy my affection. And it wasn't going over well. That's what a man does for a woman, not a woman for a man.
I was going to say that feels real masculine, like I'm accepting all this money from you. And I hope people are getting those points. Like, yes, it may even be happening, but your respect level, I feel like from a woman is going down every single time you take whatever it is.
And what she felt and believed is that the stuff she was asking me for back was going to hurt me.
Right.
Because her feelings got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to do to me what was done to her.
Because she thought it was stuff.
Because she thought it was stuff. And
things.
It wasn't.
Yep.
It wasn't. And we were just dating.
Right.
We were just dating.
Yeah.
Devalued potential of a man in 2024. Right now, there's a fine line of the value of a man and the devalue of a man.
Yep.
A fine line, especially here in Atlanta. I can't talk about New York. I can't talk about Miami. Can't talk about LA because I don't live there. But here,
definitely see it a lot. Yeah. Men accepting whatever. Yeah. Somebody will take care of me. What? Okay.
I wish somebody would take care of me. No, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'll put this out there. I'll be vulnerable. My wife has, for the last 3 years, held down our household. Only because there have been some health issues that I've dealt with that I haven't been able to get out there and do my full potential.
Right.
There's some stuff. And as soon as I got back on my feet, another health issue, another health issue, another health issue. And not that it devalues me, it actually raises the value of the potential of my wife.
Right.
And not just the potential of my wife, the household. Because before this, for the previous years, I was pulling everything.
Right.
And sometimes God says, sit down and rest. I got you covered.
Yeah. Well, y'all 25 years in too. We're not talking about the folks been together 25 years with, and you have contributed, and she knows the true value of you and how you provide. Like, that's, for me, I'm just looking at that not even being a problem, right?
But
I would hope somebody would have you down if, you've been doing it for 20 years.
But there are couples out here that are now divorcing because the dynamics of the relationship has changed. And that person who now needs to step up has the ability to, but doesn't want to because it's safer or easier or it's more comfortable to just leave and move on when somebody has deposited their whole life into you to make sure you were taken care of.
Yeah.
It was, I used the example in a previous podcast where a guy had been with a girl. They've been together like 3 years. He putting her through school. He making sure she get here. The guy asked her, how long would you take care of your man if he goes down? And she said 3 months. This dude been taking care of her for 3 to 5 years. Yeah. She gave him 3 months.
Yeah, that's
selfish.
It is selfish. And is that really truly a woman though? Like a grown up adult woman? No, I don't see that.
It's I'm gonna say it's not about grown up adult. Let's talk about just maturity.
I'm saying I was using it in our context of adult versus child versus teenager. Exactly. Are you in our context being an adult woman if you say something like that?
But does society now say that you have to mature to your age, or can you continue to be what you want to be behind a 40-year-old woman?
I don't think it's always about maturity. Sometimes it's just about women's idea of how things are supposed to be.
But that's maturity.
Not necessarily. Could be just their beliefs and what they were taught or what they, feel.
Okay, so
and some women feel like they're not going to be taking care of no grown man, and that, you got a certain period of time to get it together, because if you ain't providing and if you ain't doing this and doing that, then you're not going to be my man for long.
Right.
That's how some women think.
Well, the thought process or the ideology of a person really comes from should be a mature, because this is the thing. You then tell a man that I live in a double standard, that it's okay for you to do for me. But when the roles reverse, I'm not committed enough to you to do the exact same thing for me until you're able to rest and get back on your feet. The commitment should be the same. So if you are all about you, it falls back on immaturity, and it falls back on a selfish mentality. And you said a key word. Mm-hmm. You said a key word. You came on our podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I asked you, what did you think about the podcast? And you made a very, very, very distinct comment about the podcast. Can you share that comment?
What was it? I don't remember.
Principles versus
feelings, mm-hmm. and how women are more feeling based, whereas men talk about principle.
Repeat your comment to me?
Well, I was saying that when I have discussions with women, we don't talk about like a lot of the things that you guys talk about. We talk about our feelings,
right?
How a guy made us feel, or how we feel about something that happened at work, or it's all based on our experiences, right, and how it made us feel. Mm-hmm. Whereas with you guys, it's usually based off a principle of what happened. Mm-hmm.
We're getting a ding in here, Mr. Kim. So let's take the principle. Let's take the thought of being feeling based. Mm-hmm. All right. So men operate in feelings also, mm-hmm. but to establish yourself as a man, you have to move off of your feelings and move on to more principle-based things, which you build off of. Ariel was able to build his mentality off of his dad making him. It was not an option. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a conversation. It wasn't a thought process. We're finna go cut 12. Didn't your grandfather have like some acres of land?
Oh yeah, gotta have a farm. I want to go work on the farm every summer.
You gotta go work on the farm every summer. I don't care if you don't want to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's what you got to do. Right. It was no discussion.
It wasn't.
Mm-hmm. So with men, we have to subjugate our feelings for our principles so that we can operate and build off of that. That's what made him the man that he is today. If he was to ever get a farm, what do you think he's going to train his child to do? Mm-hmm. So let's look at it like this. Feelings versus principles. You have a child that wants to eat McDonald's every night of the week.
Feelings.
Or you have a child or a parent that says, I can afford McDonald's, but I'm going to cook 6 nights a week and McDonald's be that one meal that we get
exactly
on the weekend.
Right.
Which child do you think is going to be a healthier child?
The child getting the cooked meals.
All day, every day.
Mm-hmm. And what does it solve to continue to stay feeling based versus adding a principle in of reward, of sacrifice? Because this woman is now saying, I can afford McDonald's, but I'm going to sacrifice,
of course,
this. And as our sacrifice progresses, McDonald's will be our reward. Mm-hmm. What then is she now teaching her child? And the reason why I raise this is because if a woman of adult age does not understand the principles of life or the principles of relationship or the principles that govern her maturity or her advancement, then every situation that she deals with is feeling based, is putting her right back in the situation of, I want this, because I want it, not because I deserve it, not because I'm going to work toward it, not because I need to mature. They're going to go back to always wanting McDonald's, and they're going to continue to fail as life progresses. And this is why you can't live feeling based by yourself. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with our society right now because of they want everything quick.
Feelings. Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. No thought process and what it's going to do with a year down the road. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No consequences. Yep.
No work ethic.
No work ethic.
No Big work time. Ethic. Yep. No pain, no gain.
I met this older gentleman recently, and he's like a operations person for a company, and he was talking about the younger generation that come to work for him, and he said, "Boy, it's nothing that makes me more frustrated and more angry than some of these young people that come in here to work." He said, because they don't want to work. Right. He said they don't want to work. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to do nothing but just sit around and have stuff handed to them, And he said he just gets so angry because they're not his children. Right. He didn't raise them, But he's thinking in the back of his mind, who in God's green earth raised these kids, like this, you know? Because he said that they don't know what to do. They don't know how to take direction. They don't know how to take leadership. They are irresponsible. You know, they have horrible work ethics. And he said, I just want to fire every last one of them.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's our fault. That's our fault. And being in a free country doesn't always mean that your freedoms allow you to make the right and the best decisions. And so what happens is as our parents fought to assimilate, what did the African American want? They wanted to be equal with their white neighbors. They wanted the same jobs. They wanted the same living space. They wanted the same opportunities. As society has progressed, we have enabled our children to understand what a struggle meal is. And so I want Chick-fil-A. And what does the parent do?
Buys them Chick-fil-A.
We had a couple friend who when the child is with the mother, the child's grandmother on the mother's side would give him whatever he wanted. There was a weekend, this child went to his father's house. And the father's girlfriend was like, we finna eat spaghetti for dinner. I don't want spaghetti. And the father was like, all right, well, get your own food. This child called his grandmother that lived an hour away and said, I want Chick-fil-A. And the grandmother delivered Chick-fil-A.
I can't believe that. Wow.
True story, Sherry?
Yeah, what kind of principles are we teaching
that
there?
They can have whatever they want, when they want, and how they want it. And that's not reality.
Reality says take that mentality into the world. And all those kids are going to have to learn that same lesson. They're going to have to learn it. And then did you prepare yourself? Are you going to have Chick-fil-A money when you hit 22, 23?
Well, I had a conversation with a child and I told him, I said, one, it was very disrespectful.
Right.
You know, because your grandmother prepared a meal for you.
Yeah.
And instead of you eating what she prepared, you reached out to the other grandmother and asked her to bring you food. I said, that's like a slap in the face to her.
Yeah,
and I said, you know, 1, it was wrong. 2, it was disrespectful. And 3, you owe her an apology. You know, and I called him on it, you know.
But did he learn the lesson?
Well, he apologized and he thought about it,
yeah,
you know, and he saw, you know, because I told him, I said, that was very, you know, selfish of you. It was very, you know, just disrespectful. I said, how would you feel if you cooked a meal for somebody and
I need him to get the principle of sometimes we have to do things, right? That we just don't have to do. Like we have to do them as men. That's a principle.
Yeah. But I told him too. I said, you know, that makes you basically a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
I said that's kind of.
Well, again, it goes back. It's our fault because as we have gotten older and money is more equitable, we want to live an easier life. And I'll give you, for me, I was never given a car. I bought all the cars I ever had. At 16, I bought my first car. I want to give my kids cars because it wasn't given to me, but I also want them to understand the work ethic that comes along with it.
Exactly.
I bought a car for my son. I paid $250 for it. It was worth $3,500. We probably put about $4,000 into it. When we initially got the car, I told my son, we're going to change the alternator. We're going to do the tune-up. We're going to do everything that needs to be done to this car so you can drive it, so you will learn.
Exactly.
He didn't want to do it. You know what he said? I'll just pay somebody to do it. And I'm like, son, save that $500 and keep that in your pocket. But what he didn't understand is I taught him the basics of a tune-up. How to change your brakes. How to change your oils. How to put yourself in a position. I said, now anybody, now he's in college. That needs a tune-up, you can charge him $150 and help him and show him what to. He missed it.
Missed that. And then too, what you don't understand is because you didn't get that piece or learning about cars in general. It's not gonna be $500 to get your car fixed all the time.
It could be
1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. Thinking about the amount that it costs to repair cars now.
So my wife has to exit because we got responsibility with children. It's easier to do this podcast.
Chase, get her?
No.
Okay.
It's easier to do this podcast than to leave the podcast and go pick a child up from practice. That's
right.
That's the challenge I had last week.
Yeah.
And my wife was out of town, so I had kids for 10 days all by myself. We've had another great conversation.
Yeah, it's been good today.
We touched upon a lot of principles. And for the conversation, this podcast, it really started in the barbershop 20-something years ago. Mm-hmm. The conversation is not inclusive just to men, because that barbershop conversation was also inclusive to women who were sitting there,
right,
who also heard some things that they may not have understood or had questions to. And so our podcast is really geared toward that person, that family, that woman, that man that's looking for information to get them to the next level. Right. So in conclusion of today's podcast, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I did childish things. But when I matured, when I was forced to become a man, I became a man and put childish things away.
Exactly.
With that statement coming from the Bible, it really charges every man to mature in his current situation, because in maturity or with knowledge comes wisdom. If you're having the same repeat situations in your life, it's because you're not overcoming something in your life and you're handling it. What does the proverb say? What is insanity? Doing the exact same thing, the exact same way, again, but expecting a change. Until you make that change, until you initiate that change, until you become committed to that change and disciplined to that change, you won't see, like you said earlier, generational wealth.
Yep. You won't see it.
You won't see. You won't even see wealth in your own generation.
Right. You won't see your own wealth. Right.
And what do people want nowadays? They want wealth. They want it. And the principle of keeping it is not there.
Exactly.
How many failed rappers do you see?
Every day.
Every day. Oh, I got a better one. How many millionaires after 6 years of winning the lottery are broke? How many NFL players, basketball players, 6 years out of the leagues and they're broke?
Yep.
Because they thought that money would last forever.
Right.
And it doesn't, or it didn't. And I like Chad Ochocinco. He said all the jewelry I wore
was fake.
He said time don't cost me nothing, so I will not spend. And I feel the same way. You are an Invicta watch wearer.
I am.
I'm an Invicta watch. I kind of collect them. I sell them in my store. I don't wear them too much.
Right.
I like them. I don't wear them because I don't want to ruin them. But when I need to break one out, I have
got one for you.
I got one
for everything, every outfit,
tuxedo.
Right.
I like that versatility. For me, I wear a regular
got your
Samsung watch. That's my daily. But I have the ability, I have the discipline, I have the opportunity to switch when I want to.
Right.
And you bought a watch.
Yes, I did.
And you said a just because gift for your wife?
Just because.
How does she enjoy it?
Oh, loves it.
Did you get the links out?
I gotta work on the links.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, good.
Yet.
Maturity of a man is to give something to his wife, not because it's her birthday, not because it's Valentine's Day, not because it's Christmas. The man came in and said, just because.
Yep.
Just because. All right. I think we need to end this show. Any final comments from you?
No, I think it was a good conversation. I really like the points or where we went for the progression and really pointing out child to a teenager to adult, and that progression that needs to happen. So hopefully that clicked with somebody out there.
I hope so. I really do.
That they really understand that progression and what needs to happen. So it was a good conversation.
Last point: a man should not be ashamed to make a sacrifice or an investment for his future. If he's not making a sacrifice or an investment for his future, guess what he does not have?
He doesn't have
he doesn't have an investment, nor does he have a positive future.
That's it. That's good.
So he'll be 60 doing the same thing he did at 50, the same thing he did at 40, the same thing he did at 30.
Yep.
I can go back to South Central LA right now. I've been gone for 24 years. The same dude that was hanging on the block is still hanging.
Still there.
Same block. Same car.
Wow. Didn't make that investment. Got to move on.
It's very important. And for women, it's very important for you to push your children, especially your sons, to the principles that a man, a husband, is trying to instill in them at a young age. You don't make them a man by giving them everything they ask for.
Sure don't.
You don't make them a man by making sure you can come to his beck and call.
No. That's not how life works.
No. Lois Lane did not save Superman.
Right. Exactly.
Superman saved Lois Lane. So if you want to make your child a superhero or a Superman, you have to, number one, stop saving him and allow him to think about his choices, his decisions, and also the circumstances that come from that. So we're gonna continue with this.
I think it's good conversation.
We're gonna talk about circumstances.
Yeah.
Next week.
Okay.
Circumstances based off of decisions that were made,
right,
and how it affects us, negative and positive.
I like it.
Okay.
Cool.
Good deal. I think we can end this one. If you have any questions, send us an email at menofpromise2018@gmail.com. We appreciate your support, your comments. If it's something that you like, comment, let us know. If there's a conversation you would like us to have, please put it in the comment section. We're not looking for content, but we look for comments and see how we can use those comments to make a podcast out of it, make a conversation out of it. So, just the end. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Blessings. Where the bishop at? Man, the Pope of the booth be sleeping. Man,
I hear you.
The Pope in the back. Are you back there with the wine and the crackers? Are you taking communion like every 5 minutes?
We're trying to gotta do something for you guys.
Yeah, we can tell. The Pope of the booth is wasted, y'all. He's never prepared. It's been a good podcast. We'll see you guys later.